Helmet Man News. Like, subscribe, share, Patreon, merchandise. Oink. For today's story on controversial segment, let's take a look.
Safely. I think it's a testament to the people who have really thought about this election. They knew what they were doing. They worked really hard to make sure that everybody who is here, the ones who are at the poll place working, the people who are coming in their cars, everybody is here safe. They have very minimal exposure. Actually, there's less exposure here than you would get if you went to the grocery store or you went to Walmart. You can come to a polling place and do it safely. You have the ability to do curbside voting just like they're doing here, even if it's in a different municipality without drive-up voting. You can request that the person come out. They'll deliver you a ballot. They'll check your ID. You are incredibly safe to go out.
What a clown. That actually is the Republican Speaker of the Wisconsin State Assembly in full-on protective gear. This guy who looks like he's in a hazmat suit telling Wisconsin voters that they were, quote, incredibly safe to go out. What an absolute clown. Mika, of all the things
that went on yesterday?
that I've seen in my 25 years of politics and being associated with politics and reporting on politics, I don't know that I've ever seen anything as reckless and irresponsible with the public health as what I saw yesterday, where Republicans jammed down the throat of Wisconsin voters an election in the middle of a pandemic where they had to stand in lines close to each other. And yes, you can say this. The Republicans that jammed this election through risked the lives of countless Wisconsin voters and those in other states. This is, after all, Meek, if you want to know what this is about as we look at these pictures, this is about a Wisconsin legislature and a Wisconsin Republican Party in Wisconsin that has spent the last decade doing everything they could do to twist and distort the voting outcomes in elections. You don't believe me? In 2018, I have the numbers here, Democratic candidates won by more than 190,000 votes for the state assembly, right? Pretty much a landslide. Yet the GOP has so gerrymandered and twisted up the state that despite the fact Democrats won by 190,000 more votes than Republicans, the GOP held a 64-35 advantage in that chamber. Wisconsin, it's just been an ongoing effort, Willie, by Wisconsin Republicans to make sure that black voters, to make sure Hispanic voters, to make sure Democratic voters, they don't get their say, and that it's not one person, one vote. And yesterday was the most extraordinarily reckless thing I've seen in my political life. In the middle of a pandemic, just not waiting till June like every other state. Because you know what? They had a Supreme Court seat that they wanted to win. They wanted the Democrats to stay at home. They wanted to win the Supreme Court seat so they could pass more legislation which would disenfranchise more black voters.